Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight, the weekly YouTube horror discussion show in which we discuss horror films from the past and the present. This week's film is going to be The Gallows. We're going to be full spoilers, and with me to talk about it today is Tim.
Yes, hello.
Very serious. Joseph.
Thank you, Peter.
Oh, like a tip of the hat. Very southern of you. And Kevin.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
After
Oh,
2
yeah, Kevin's
weeks.
back. Kevin's not been here for like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
We missed you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Still watched the Collector. Still wasted my time on that film.
Oh, shut your face. Shut your face. I like that film. That was good. Anyway, so yeah, this is Screams After Midnight, and we will be talking about The Gallows today. That's the new horror film that came out this past week. It's directed by two gentlemen, Travis Clough. Clough's a funny name. And Chris Loafing. That's also a funny name. What is this? Is two guys just got together? We have really funny last names. Let's team up and take on the world. Let's do that. Alright, so this is The Gallows. It is a found footage horror film which is set in a school 20 odd years ago at a school play called The Gallows. There was an accident and a fake hanging ended up happening for real, and a kid was killed. Fast forward to present day, and the school's putting on the play again. Why, I don't know. I feel like if that happened, no one would ever touch that. At least at that school. Like maybe other people would do that play elsewhere, but I don't think that school would ever do it again.
Well, I think you kind of find out in the end, because that one girl was pushing for it, I think, really hard. I think you realize at the end.
But even still,
people could have said
No
no.
school board in their right mind would have approved that.
Yeah, to me, I think like even just the principal would be like, no, we're not doing something that reminds people of a not a murder, but a death that was public in front of an audience.
Like affected the whole town.
So that's the plot. Well, that's part of the plot. So then the main character is basically this jock who gave up playing American football to be an actor because he has a crush on the girl who's like the main actress in the play, but he's really shit. So him and his friend decide to break in late one night to destroy the set so he doesn't have to actually perform in the play, and they get trapped in the school and spooky shit starts happening, and that's the gist of the whole thing. Now we'll leave the ending.
Reasonable.
We'll leave the ending out of this until later. Right? I want to save the ending for discussion after we've talked about everything else, right? So let's leave the ending out of it. Let's talk about why this is a complete and utter piece of shit, right? So, well, does anyone disagree? Does anyone feel positive about this?
No, I hate you for making us see it.
Yeah. The waste of money.
Now, see, I'm not mad at Pete because I was actually pretty excited for this movie.
Yeah, so was I. So was I.
And now I I feel
Found
fucking
footage.
stupid, but I hate found footage, but like still like I feel like an idiot. But like trailers like really get me excited sometimes, and this one, I don't know. I thought the trailer was kind of well done, and they had all these dumb.
See the first teaser trailer, and all it was that scene with her sitting in the red stairwell, and the figure.
The only good part.
Yeah, it is. In fact, if you read my written review, I said that is the only good part in the entire film, is when she's sitting in the stairwell and the figure just emerges from the darkness behind her. It's a really good moment, and it's exactly the kind of thing I like in a horror movie. And it got me excited about the movie. I didn't even know from that first teaser that it was found footage. I actually found that out later. And I was like, oh, well, it may still be good, right? I was like, still been kind of optimistic. Second trailer came out. The trailer didn't really do anything for me. I liked the song that played in it. Like that was the one positive takeaway.
The song was good, and this is like really stupid, but I got caught up in like all the quotes they have, even though they don't mean anything, and I don't even think they attribute it to anyone. But they kept going like, the scariest movie I've seen in years, or like, move over, Freddy. There's a new, horror, like like all that dumb shit.
Now that I've seen it, those quotes are especially dumb. But yeah, you're right. Even at the time, I did notice that they didn't actually say who said any of them.
Yeah,
it was just quotes.
It was like John Loafing or whatever that guy's name was. It was just him.
Yeah. So well, okay, right. Obviously, we've mentioned found footage. Let's talk about the found footage issue in the film. It basically just plays out like every other found footage movie, in that you get annoying characters who are like friends with each other, and the guy holding the camera is a complete dick. Right, let's be honest about it.
Oh,
He's so annoying.
Yeah.
I could not stand him.
Yeah, first problem right there. But one of the things that really bugged me about this is there's no reason for this to be in found, because I kept thinking the school is such a great place to set a horror film. If you gave me a camera and like a DOP and stuff, like I could do some really interesting things with a school setting. You've got so many long corridors, you've got all these like classrooms and auditoriums and things like that. It's actually a really great setting to film a horror movie, but you ruin all that by making it found footage. So then I asked myself, why did they make this found footage? No, but seriously, because
no reason.
There's no reason, because like at least with something like Cloverfield, you think, well, the idea behind that was, well, let's do a found footage giant monster movie because no one's done that before, and it'll be a different, unique point of view, right? I understand why they made that choice, regardless of what you think of the final movie. I understand why they made that choice, because they thought for at least one time that would be an interesting thing to do. Same with something like I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
example.
I would say something like Paranormal Activity. There's like a reason for it there
In the plot,
you know, cause
Having a
in
camera.
the actual plot, and
Yeah,
like the
there's a
same
logic,
thing with like
yeah.
same thing with Wreck. I would say
Documentary,
And- yeah, and notice how those are actually good movies. It's like if you can do found footage if there's a good reason for it, and then that will usually end up making like a good movie. These movies that just have it for like no reason whatsoever, just because I'm assuming just because it's cheap.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do
It makes
think
its money.
yeah, there's some documentary style ones that are shit just because they're shittily made, but at least
Yeah.
there's a reason for the characters to be holding a camera. But this one especially, there is no reason at all why the characters filming everything. And you know how there's always that bit in a found footage movie where you sort of say to yourself, why are they still filming? At this point, you would throw the camera at the ground and just fucking run, right?
Yeah.
That's happened multiple times in this one, but the one that really got me was not a scary, well, not that anything was scary per se, but you know what I mean. Like, it wasn't a horror related bit. It was actually near the start when the nerdy like theatre kid plays the prank on him, and he chases after him, but he picks up the camera before he chases him. I'm like, why did he pick up the camera? He wouldn't do that. He would just chase him.
Especially if he's going to do something bad to him, then it's like on tape, and like he
Yeah.
could get in trouble for
Incriminate
that.
him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, like I haven't been to school in a while. I think it was like I graduated like 10 years ago, so I know like technology, wasn't what it was back then. But I don't think they just let you like carry cameras around school like that.
No,
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but
no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let you do that either. No. Yeah, that's pretty true. The other big logical thing that, or whatever, leaps out to me is that's something that Matt brought up to me on 1.21 gigawatts, because he actually works at a school, so he's like constantly around one, so he has an even greater like memory of this than any of us do. But this school in this film has got so many hidden passageways and like dark rooms that are like hidden from everywhere. It's like schools kind of make use out of their space. Like they don't have all these hidden passageways in the back that are really creepy. Like that doesn't happen.
Although it's sort of the same with every or a lot of horror films. As soon as the killer or something comes on, the forest becomes like a maze, and like
yeah,
the
but
buildings
but a forest actually is like a maze.
Yeah, but it's sort of, I can sort of see why they had it put so much
But this is the thing though. It takes me out of it because you put it in a school because you want it to feel very close to home and very real and very sort of visceral, because we all know what being at school is like. We've all been there, right? You want it to feel like it's a normal place that we've all been, and then you start putting all these things in it that just don't exist. And Kevin's disappeared into the ether. Hopefully he'll pop back in a second. But you put it in a school because you want it to feel like a real place, and then you start putting all these things that we know aren't there in a school, and it just instantly takes me out of it, you know?
or at the very least, like if I don't know, if you did some type of explanation where they talked about maybe how they're doing renovations, or maybe how there's like a certain room that they boarded off or something recently that they're like reopening, or like you could have had a dumb explanation for it. Yeah, like there could have easily been some dumb explanation that probably wouldn't have been great, but at least you could have been like, oh, okay, well that explains that.
Well, most of the script was very lazy screenwriting. I don't think they really thought of that. They didn't even think of new names for the actors.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
all
gave the actors the
yeah.
characters' names.
Actually, that was the other
Right,
thing, is no school on the planet would let an unlocked door just sit about like that.
They would fix it
Oh
immediately.
yeah.
Yeah, like that is a major issue because anyone could sneak in at night and wait till the next day if they wanted to do something bad or like. It's just a major security risk. No one would let
Also,
that sit.
don't modern schools have surveillance cameras? Wouldn't they see the students entering the theater at night?
We're back. We had to take a quick break because Kevin's computer exploded or something. So yeah, we were just talking about like modern schools and how like Joseph said they'd have surveillance and stuff, and they would. I don't know if anyone would. At least here, I don't think anyone watches the live surveillance like 24 hours, but. Certainly the next day they would be caught. Like they would just see them on the camera when someone checks the footage.
Oh yeah.
So
And then find his footage that he had filmed of their destruction during this play.
speaking of this, actually, the movie opens with this is the property of such and such police department, right? And I was thinking, well, who edited this? Because it cuts to iPhone footage like multiple times in the movie.
Well, it's like that's a problem I have with like a lot of found footage films, like except for the ones like we mentioned earlier that do have a purpose to them that makes sense. But with ones like these, I'm always like, all right, like are we supposed to believe that we're just like straight up watching the footage, or are we believing that someone found the footage and like put them together and edited it in a way or something? Again, it's one of those things that just doesn't really, it's never addressed or makes sense, and it is utterly pointless. Like they, stupid.
It really bothered me in Chronicle actually, because at the end of Chronicle, they start cutting from like multiple security cameras and iPhones and like, just everything. Like it just so you can have all these different shots, and I was like, you could have not bothered with that. It just took me out of it.
Which really sucks because like Chronicle was another rare found footage movie that I actually really liked, kind of, and that that didn't bother me so much that I hated it, but it was like a little thing at the end. It was kind of like
yeah, but yeah, so found footage kind of sucks, and it does kind of feel like, at least with this one and a lot of other recent ones, it just feels like the lazy way out to me. Possibly cheaper as well, but definitely. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's still effort that goes into lighting for found footage. It's not like you can just whip out a camera and do it. It'll still look too amateurish if you just do it that way. But it's still, it's still a lot easier than actually having a storyboard and plan for all these different shots and all the rest of it. It just feels like the lazy and cheaper way out for horror movies in recent years. And the simple fact is that there's no logical reason in the script, and there's also no reason outside of the script either. Like I said with Cloverfield, I got why they chose to do that, as an idea. I don't understand why they chose to do this outside of what we've just said about laziness and cheapness, because we've seen supernatural horror films, found footage style, multiple times now. So
there's so
All
much
the time
stuff
now.
that was like stupid or didn't make sense though too. Like I love they do like the classic movie thing where the jock guy likes like the nerdy girl and his friend can't figure out why, but she was like really attractive, and his friend's just like, I don't get it, man. Like, what do you see in her? You gotta tell me. He's like freaking out. And then also it's the other thing too that bothers me in movies a lot, where this guy that's supposedly supposed to be his best friend is the most annoying guy in the world and is pretty different than the main character, who seems like kind of just a chill, laid back dude. And so I was like, why are these guys friends? Like they seem like completely different. Like
yeah, we almost have the dilemma that the dick kid has, and that we can't understand why he's with this guy.
yeah. And like also their whole like plan, I mean, I guess maybe it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. Did you guys have a problem with their big idea was like to get out of the play was like, let's just go mess up the set? Like, I mean, they would have just cleaned it up, like, right? I think.
I think the idea is they were going to dismantle it to the point where they couldn't have built it again in time for the performance.
I feel like that stuff though, like
Just delete a day.
they would. Or yeah, like it would be like, all right, well, Friday's show canceled. Come back Saturday or Sunday. It's not like we were gonna do it one day. Like it wasn't a one day only affair. I don't know. It's just another like plot point that was pretty dumb to me.
Yeah, can't really argue. Yeah.
Also, one of the this film had to be, or it doesn't make any sense if it wasn't, like, the script wasn't ad-libbed, because the script in this is awful. Like, some of the exchanges between the characters are just so, they're single words. They're just single word responses. I can't think of. There's a part where the guys are, I think it's the guy and the girl, and they're speaking, and he's like, "Why are you here?" And he tries to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just have a problem with the script and with the dialogue, and, like, there was no chemistry between the characters, and especially because they were supposed to have, like, a crush on each other. I didn't. The characters were another major problem, but
The characters were a problem, but not to the same extent everything else was, I don't think. Maybe it's just because I've seen so many horror films with shitty characters that it just feels like normal shitty characters to me, rather than something that is specifically really wrong with this movie. But
Well, I think,
which there's a
like,
lot
if-
of, but
If there were other things that were better about the movie, you probably could have forgiven it.
yeah.
yeah.
There's no redeemable qualities throughout.
There's that one scene that we liked from the teaser.
Yeah, but they ruin it in the
There's
teaser.
a second scene I like.
Is there? Okay, what's your second scene that you like? Let's be positive for a second.
Ryan's death. He deserved it. I was so happy. Finally, he's gone, and he's the first one. The most annoying one is the first one out.
Well, it didn't have a
I
lot of
was
choice
pretty happy about that.
because there was only 4 characters and 2 of them had to be around till the end, so there wasn't. So even like we had a lot of. Actually, Joe, it's something I really hate. I'm getting really annoyed about in supernatural horror movies because there's so many of them getting made now because it's like the end thing for horror right now is to do supernatural. They keep doing these really stupid little creepy things that make no sense for the spirit or the ghost or whatever to be doing. Right? And the one that really
Like the
bothered me.
opening of the locker.
Yeah,
Locker
like why?
and closing it before.
Why is the ghost doing that? Like, I mean, even if you argue that the ghost or whatever will do scary things to scare the people in the house because he wants to see them be scared, the character never seen that. That was only for us in the camera.
Us dread.
It's like it knows we're watching, so like, it's stupid.
Also, why close the locker? Don't you want to at least bump his head, get him hurt a little bit, scare him in some way? Let's close it right before you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm going to be sneaky and do this without him watching. Oh no, he's going to notice. I'll put it back. Like,
Yeah. Also, like, huge horror cliche, but like every time something happened, someone like ran away from the group. Like there was so much like separation between the characters. Like that one time, like where they're watching that video, and like the guy like sees the person on the tape. He's like, I've seen that picture before, and like he runs like in the hallway to go get the picture. It's like, yeah, but you're in like a fucking like dark abandoned school where weird stuff is going on. Even if you do realize or have some type of revelation, are you really gonna be like, all right, bye guys, and like just zip away? Like, no, that was really, really annoying to me.
I think another big problem I have with this, and this is maybe starting to get slightly more towards the ending, is it annoys me a lot of times in horror films. Now, sometimes it can be done well. Like, Insidious did this well, where it made everything sort of tied into the past of the family and the characters and all that, and it all sort of linked together. But most of the time in horror movies, when they try to make some of the main characters related to past events, it just comes off as really forced, and they're trying to be smart with their script, and it just feels, it just feels weak. So as soon as the kid's like, maybe that's my dad. My dad's the one who called in sick, and he was the one that was meant to die. Like, I'm like, oh no. like I wasn't enjoying it up to that point, but like I wouldn't have been as angry when I left had they not went down this path. So let's talk about the ending, which is out of nowhere, completely batshit out of nowhere, right? In fact, actually, I will say there's one moment I liked just before the ending, and I do literally mean a moment, not a scene, just a moment, right? See when he's running with the girl behind him, and he's got her hand, and he gets to the open door, and he turns around, and she's not there. I thought, okay, that was actually a nice little. I could see it coming, but it was a nice little moment. I thought, like, it was like, oh, we were almost out, but oh no, shoot, like something's happened to her at the last minute. Had that actually been something dangerous happened to her, rather than her just like weeping on the stage, like that might have been more effective. But yeah, so plot twist.
She's in on it.
The girl's in on it. Yeah, the girl and her mother, who we seen briefly at the start of the play, or the start of the movie, I should say, watching rehearsals for the new play. I really like. I could see when they started acting it out because they thought this is what the ghost wants, and then he goes up to put his head in the noose, and then she doesn't leave. She just keeps acting. I'm like, wait a minute, where are we going with this? Like, is she in this?
Well, I had like a problem before, like when she goes into the school too, and then she's like, "Oh well, I saw your car here, and I was wondering what you were doing." Like towards the end, once she started acting kind of weird and stuff, I got like a little feeling like, oh, maybe something's going on with her that we don't really realize. But then, yeah, you find out that she's the daughter of the guy and the girl, and I guess they summoned him or were controlling him or something.
I think it's, I don't know if they were controlling him as such, but it seems like they summoned him, or at least they're in cahoots with the ghost.
Because he showed up in the house at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does.
Nowhere connected to where he died. Just he's in their house, and there's that little dummy.
Also, maybe I'm behind on police procedure in the US, but do all cops hold cameras like every time they go to arrest someone?
No, I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, what the hell's going on? Because after they die, then the cops show up at their house, and they're filming that too. And it's like, wait, why is this part of it?
Maybe it was for the new season of Cops.
Maybe.
Bad boy.
And they go in the house, and the mom and the daughter are just sitting there staring blankly, like, you know, repeating some sort of like murmur or enchantment or something over and over again.
Just like brushing her hair.
And then the cops die, and
it's just sweet mother-daughter moment.
And then there's like a super cheesy like thing where he jumps up at the camera. That was awful. It looked really bad.
Yeah.
Was there a single scare that wasn't a jump scare?
Well,
that one
teaser
scene?
trailer. Yeah, teaser trailer.
That was it. Everything else was a jump scare the entire time.
Yeah.
I did kind of like the scene where the main guy, he was kind of off by himself, and like he could just hear something, and then he looked up and he saw something swinging in the rafters, but he didn't really...
Oh, that was okay. I'd say that was okay.
I thought that was like a decent part. But one question that I did have...
had that high of a ceiling.
Yeah. So that was a really high ceiling. So we've scraped together about 2.5 good parts.
Yeah. Actually, one question though I did have on it. So this was like the mother and the daughter. Like this was like their plan, I guess. But how did they know that they were going to go into the school?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought as soon as I left the theatre. Like, for this plan to work, they'd have to have known that they were going to go to the building that night. Unless they were planning something for the next night when the play was on, and just changed their plans, like the night, you know, because the events.
But then they would have had to have been like monitoring the school to know.
Well,
but
the mother shows up at the end.
Yeah, I hate to not defend it, but back it up here. But I'll at least say, I guess it explains why she's there if she was like setting up the videotape and the TV in that small room and stuff. But then she would know that people were going to find it. So it kind of explains that partly, but not really. I don't know.
It's really like loose logic. You gotta like work hard to string together.
Piece of shit.
I guess one other small thing that I'll say, I don't know, that I did kind of appreciate, but I mean it's not really that big a deal. But I did feel like the kids, I thought they did actually look like high school kids. Like it didn't look like 20 or 30-year-old dudes, you know, in the roles. Like especially like the kind of like background characters, like the theater nerds and stuff. And
the background characters, I'd agree. I'd say the main ones did feel a bit older though.
Yeah.
They felt more like 20 to me. You know,
well, they're supposed to be seniors, so they're in that little range.
I thought
Do you know
I
what
thought it was
it's
like a little more believable than maybe some movies are some of the other time. But again, that doesn't even really affect the movie that much.
Slight tangent here, but what's funny to me is because we're so used to like in American movies and TV shows, like the teenagers in schools actually being like 22 and stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever there is actually a high school and a US thing where they actually are the right age and they're all like 16, they look far too young because you're so used to seeing like 20-year-olds playing high school students.
Like the new Spider-Man is probably gonna like look like pretty like, oh hey, that's not Tobey Maguire.
Like a middle schooler.
Well, the actor's already 19, so it's not like he's
No.
a spring chicken, but you know. All right, so I guess is there anything else before we get to ratings and things that anyone wants to wrap up on the Gallows?
Wrap up. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I walked out of the screening, the theater, and I heard this girl say, "See, during that last minute," talking about the bloody part when the whole bloody brushing the hair part. She said, "See, during that last minute, I couldn't even watch the screen." And I just put my hand on my face and I thought, is this what's passing for horror nowadays? Is this what's scaring the general population?
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to teenagers, though, who go and see it when they're like, you know, cause this was a 15 in the UK. So you know, when I went, there was a lot of 15-year-olds, and there was a couple of screams and people like reacting, and I'm like, you people don't know.
8-year-olds in my screening.
8-year-olds, great.
I had a Mario at my screen. I felt a little bad. He was not a happy camper.
All right. Okay. So I guess what Nussies out of 10 then that we're doing this week. Kevin, how many Nussies out of 10?
Can I rate it negative nooses?
No, that's not how rating works. That's not how a scale works.
One. I can't find anything good to say about this.
1
film.
out of 10. Oh, that's putting it right there on the shit heap. Joseph.
Well, found footage automatically deducts 5 points. I hate found footage. I can't stand it. I guess I will give a noose for Ryan's death and a noose for the teaser. So Ryan and his girlfriend, they are the 2 nooses out of 10.
Okay. All right. Tim.
You know, I think Matt did like a review or something, or posted something about it where he gave it a 5 out of 10. And when I first saw it, I think that's what I was kind of leaning towards. But just talking with you guys has made me like think of how much more I hate it. I'll probably be a little more lenient, but I'll give it I guess a 3.
There you go.
There you go.
Doesn't deserve anything higher.
I would also go with a 3 Nussies out of 10, and the reason being, like I said, I like the teaser. There's a couple of moments that Tim mentioned that were okay, but really the honest reason is that I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, I'm being honest. Like when it comes
I
to scale, like, you know, this isn't a 1 out of 10 because I have seen a 1 out of 10.
Birdemic
is a 1 out of 10. That's what a 1 is. So this is, at least on a technical level, there's sound mixing in this, you know, so that gets at a point. You know, like. So,
at least one thing I can kind of say is I wasn't really bored by it. Like I didn't enjoy it, but I wasn't really falling asleep or anything. If that counts for anything.
I was somewhere in the middle. I think it definitely helped his case that it was only about 80 minutes long. Like if had it been any longer, I would have probably been clawing at my eyes, wanting to get out.
It's one of the few times I've actually been to a cinema and realised I just walked out of the screen and thought, I've just wasted my money. I could have went something else, but no. Like I usually find something good to like in a film, but I couldn't, other than the few things we mentioned. But well, the one thing we mentioned, which was they spoiled in the trailer. So no, I stand by my score.
Fair enough. That just means you've got some really bad stuff still to watch, Kevin. That's all that means. And we'll get to it. Because Birdemic is technically a horror film. We might cover that one.
It's an environmentally aware film.
It is, yes. It's a movie with a message. Okay, so that is The Gallows. there was good horror films out this year, and we will no doubt get to them at some point before the year's out, because let's praise good modern horror while we're at it, because it's actually been a pretty decent year for the most part. So that'll wrap us up for this week on Screams After Midnight. And you can find everyone on Twitter and stuff. You'll get their Twitter handles and stuff in the description. Follow Mailed Fuzz on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe on iTunes to this podcast. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you thought of the movie on YouTube or whatever. And give us a like and rate us 5 stars out of 5. If you're not going to rate us 5 stars, don't rate us at all. That's the rule. Okay, so thanks for watching or listening, guys, and we'll see you next week. So keep watching scary films. Bye.
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 Charlie, Charlie, Charlie.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight, the weekly horror YouTube discussion show. Tim!
Yeah.
Still smiling, nodding your head.
What happened?
It looks like Tim looked like he was being fluffed under the camera. Jesus Christ.